I live? Am I live? Am I live? You know, I wanted to do this Facebook Live on my phone because it always comes out clearer and the sound is better. Like, I don't even know if the sound is on. I never, because there's a monitor, but I don't see any place where there's a sound going, like a volume pitch or whatever. So anyway, blah blah blah. I always get on these side conversations, and I am back. I am back. This is my first day back in probably 6 months. I think the last Facebook Live I did was in February. And so I've had some ups and downs and downs. Oh boy. But you gotta press on, right? And so, yeah, I'm kind of taking my friend, I don't know if we're friends or if I follow her, but Lady Maga USA talks about depression a lot on, well, when he's dressed as a guy and going through all that stuff. And so he kind of gave me some encouragement to, get back online and, keep it moving. So that's what you got to do. Yes. So anyway, what today's topic is, what I want to talk about today is the job search and LGBTQ. Okay, so I'm back in been turned down for over 900 jobs because I apply for jobs, at least one job every day. And if you times that by 3 or 4 years, that may even be over 1,000. And I've done everything. I have. I'm a really good writer. I'm a professional writer, and I've used so many different formats. I have hired professional people to write ATS resumes. I have the credentials. I have years of experience. I'm multilingual. I'm certified. I'm a certified Scrum Master. I'm certified in MySQL. I know database theory, and I know Salesforce. I know HTML. I know pretty good Java and JavaScript. That is not Java, JavaScript. And I don't know what's going on. When this makeup, it always gets me itching. I use so many different brands and stuff, and that's probably not a good idea. Anyway, um, and what does this say? It says action needed. So what do I need to do now? Well, anyway, I don't know if this is taping. We'll do a take two. I usually do two takes anyway, so anyway, so what I want to talk about is a recent experience I had. I had with another company too, but I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about a job I just applied for a research analyst with the city of Portland. And so, you have to go through these really exhaustive application processes. You have to answer the questions and and all your experience and the cover letters and Well, instead of sending a cover letter this time, I decided I was going to just I said I sent like a introduction and explains all of the different types of methodology I was using. So my experiment was a quantum needs, whatever that is. But anyway, I don't want to sound like negative, or like I'm got a chip on my shoulder, man. No. But I got a rejection letter, and so I just replied to the person and said, the city of Portland, in my observation, has hardly any diversity to speak of. And I'm talking about going back to the when I was a kid in the 70s, all the way to today, 50 something years later. And it's the same thing with another one, state of Oregon. Go down to the Oregon building. Responds and says, and I said it's something else, I don't know. But he says, "Oh, we're so sorry for your frustration. I know it must be a final cut," which is fine, that's fine. But he said, "But we're really happy how it turned out, because at least half of the people we chose in the final cut, they either uh, identify as female, or they're part of the LGBTQ, you know, IAXYZ 90210, you know, uh, minority group." And, when I started to think about that, I said, in my view, and this may be controversial, but in my view, a man identifying as a female is not a minority. Well, it is a minority, but it's not shouldn't be a protected. I can't say what should and should not be. I'm just giving my opinion. In my opinion, a man that identifies as a woman is not a woman. Men who go, when you go through the surgery and you go through the whole thing with the hormones and the reassignment, okay, that's something else. But if you just say, "Oh, I'm a woman," okay, and I'm going to go apply for these jobs. Now, I went over to one of the I think it's called like homo culture or something like that website, and it talked about what each letter stood for. Okay, so let's just go get past the easy stuff, right? The LBG, no, the LGB. Okay, let's do there. Stop there. Then we get to the Q. Now it said Q means queer, so Q stands for queer, and queer is an umbrella term that includes LBG. I mean, well, LGB. I sorry, LGB. So it's almost redundant. So that means questioning your sexuality or your gender or something like that. Well, and then I stands for intersex, which, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? And transgendered, which is another. Are you putting a sexuality and gender assignment in one category and making it all like, "Oh, you're the sexual people. Well, what about the other people, like the pansexual people and the sister wives and, swingers? What's wrong with them? Are you going to judge? Are you going to judge? Oh, our sexual kinkiness is okay, but yours isn't. You see? So, but anyway, the deal where I'm getting with this is that after all these years of fighting for civil rights, well over 170 years, because it did not start in the 60s. It started in the 1800s, like 1856. Okay, when the Republican Party formed to eradicate slavery and all the civil rights laws that were written down the line, down the line, down the line, down the line. So it didn't just start in the 60s. So I wish people would stop saying during civil rights. No, civil rights has been going on for 170 years. Okay. Anyway, see, I'm starting to get off into something else. But here, all these years of fighting for civil rights, Martin Luther King and everybody, Rosa Parks, and the people who were killed and lynched and beaten and mobbed and, bullied, and everything is all down the drain because some 35-year-old millennial yuppie who is probably heterosexual, could be, maybe not, but they could just say, "Oh, I need a job. Oh, I'm gonna be questioning. I'm cute. So I'm a minority. I'm a protected minority. So now I can go take a job that a black person who who historically hasn't had the opportunities that I've had in my life. I could just go take those jobs just from her and him. And see this LGBTQ. And then they fix it so that if you say anything even remotely negative or could be construed, you're homophobic. Nobody's homophobic. Nobody is. I mean, maybe 1.1 something of the population, or maybe in some of these other countries and different things like that. But to say that this legitimately can displace, do you know how you can exploit now people who are LGBTQ legitimately? Yes, they should be protected. Gays should be protected, lesbians. I call everybody gay though, but it's not really up to me, but people should be. But when you're talking about you're questioning your sexuality and you're questioning your gender. And there are people who have been marginalized, systemic racism, especially here in Oregon. It's a major, major issue with systemic racism in employment, in health, in housing, in entrepreneur opportunities, small business, across the board. And then this is what they do. They decide that LGBTQ is a protected minority. Now, like I say, yes, everyone deserves human rights, but this is something that I feel, and maybe you could call it a conspiracy theory, but I feel in Oregon it's just another ruse to practice racial discrimination. And that's where I You should take a little time, and here in Oregon, stop marching around and acting like you're so into civil rights, human rights, and social justice by marching around and saying, oh, we're LGBTQ friendly. Well, everybody should be friendly to anybody no matter what they are, and you shouldn't have to take a group of people and say, I like you, we like you, you're invited to our house, you're welcome in our. No, you don't need to put a sign out that says nothing, and you don't have to announce it. Just accept the people as they are, and don't. They're private homes. Why are people letting themselves fall into this thing where you have to announce to people your personal business that doesn't have anything to do with the price of tea in China? That's what I say. Okay? I sure hope I have sound. Gee. Or I have to tape this whole thing again. But anyway, I did come out, and I'm going to start again with the vegan's beef. And thank you all for coming. Well, no one's here, but hopefully you watch the replay and we can have a conversation, and there's no walking on eggshells, and there's no PC on my page. Okay, and employers who are looking at my Facebook page, it's really none of your concern what I do when I'm not on your clock. You see, you have no right to be looking at my social life, because I'm not living in the USSR. That's what they do in the USSR. They spy on people. Okay? So that's just me. That's how it's gonna go. All right, well, until um, you know, the next session, I guess that's it. And let's hope to get together. And until then, we will chat again. Thanks. Bye bye.